Hey, this is Terry Bain. Welcome to another exciting, well, hopefully it's exciting, edition of Business Growth Time. As always, I'm here with my good friend Janet Johnson. Janet, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. It's always nice to be here and fun to chat on camera. It feels like we're right here with each other. You know what I mean?
It does, but totally different.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I made the mistake, right? The rookie Google Hangout mistake of saying, and I'm here with Janet, and then I went down to look at you down here because you're like
Oh,
in my lower right-hand corner, but my camera way up top here.
it is a
Still do that?
difficult one. It is very difficult, and I bet you 80% of the people doing a hangout will look down at that corner versus looking, and it happens. Most of our guests that we interview tend to do that too. So there's our first tip of the day right there.
I want to
Look at the
look at
camera.
you. The camera doesn't do anything. Maybe if I had a little picture of you next to the camera, I'd be like, oh, hi.
I've thought about things like that too, exactly.
It's goofy. It's goofy. So, all right, we're not going to talk about Google Hangout, but we should definitely do a show on that. Today, we're going to talk about a little conversation we started on Facebook yesterday. And the simple conversation was this. Let's pretend you can only have two social networks. And I narrowed it down to just five, right, that you had to choose from. Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and Google Plus. If you could only choose two of those five, what would they be? And got a bunch of answers on it.
You
Is there
sure did. Yeah.
do you have it in front of you? Do you want to read off some of those answers?
Yes, I
You want
do.
to
I can
count?
I can do that. And I have to say, it's interesting to me. I was going to comment, but I did comment, but I was going to comment that it was interesting you didn't mention YouTube. But a
You
lot
know
of people
what?
don't look at that as a social network. That's
I
what's,
Go ahead.
yep.
I totally was going to put YouTube and thought to myself, I don't think a lot of people think of this as a social network. Which, honestly, I don't know if there's a bigger, better, badder social network than YouTube. So I
Yeah.
like your thought there.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, if you had put that, I guess I would have probably chose that too. So okay, so we've got, and if you go down the list, Facebook does definitely is prominent. But let's just start with, should we say names?
Names, not names. Yeah, name them. What the heck?
Okay.
They're
Most of
out there
your
in the
friends
public.
anyway, whatever. Jeff Howell said Facebook and LinkedIn. FB for social interaction. Yeah, I agree. And LI for business interaction.
Oh,
He
I did
definitely
ask
missed
why,
Twitter.
right? The
Yep,
question definitely said and why, because you need to defend your answer. Everybody knows that.
exactly, exactly. He said he'd miss Twitter and Instagram, but he'd compensate. Then Daphna, who was on our show, she said Facebook and Twitter, unique tools with huge engagement power. I agree. I'm just not as much of a Twitter. Twitter's gotten so noisy that I just, I guess if you are fully in there, it definitely, I can see it, missing that too. Then the next one, Chuck said Facebook and Twitter. Facebook for connection to people, and Twitter for up to the moment news and sports info. And your question did not say business related. So that's, I think, another hurdle, to overcome. Is this for social or is it for business social? So there's two different things there too, I think.
And people ask that, right? Is this for business or is this for social? And I
Yeah.
intentionally left it vague because I'm not going to dictate how you're going to use social. You're going to dictate. I think there are a lot of people that use social strictly personal, especially Facebook. I think
Yeah.
there are people that use LinkedIn strictly business. And I think Twitter probably ends up being a mix. Pinterest is probably more personal. Instagram could be both. I
Yeah.
don't want to dictate how people use it. And honestly, I think you were the only one. I don't want to skip ahead. I don't think we're going to read all
No,
35, 40
no,
answers.
no.
But I think you were the only one that actually said Google Plus as a choice. And I was right there with you because I think Google Plus has all of the fun and power and ability that Facebook has. None of the audience. Let's not be carried away. None of the audience that it has, but it's got all the ability and
Yeah.
it's Google. And I think that's
Well,
probably
you
better.
were so right. And the one thing is, you didn't say YouTube on there. So, like I said, back to that, you know, your Google Plus Hangouts is basically YouTube. You know, you're
Beautiful
getting onto
parcel.
YouTube. So, yeah, so for me, I couldn't live without that. But I know a lot of businesses don't even use the Hangouts, which, hey, they're missing the boat. But and I just made a comment about that today. Any business not using video is missing the boat. And so, you know, and the cool thing is that there's some people coming up with a lot of cool video things on Instagram too. So Facebook and Instagram are really powerful for video also. So I think, you know, it can compensate.
I don't. So I have Pinterest occasionally. If I'm really, really bored and it's late, I'll get to Pinterest. But I don't normally. That's not a go-to thing for me. In Instagram, even less. What about you on those two?
Instagram I do for fun.
Okay.
I do post on there a lot, and then I decided to link that to my personal profile. I know there's ways to use it as business, but when every social platform becomes business, you know, there's the fun is out of it, kind of, and so I just decided at this point to keep the Instagram account a little more open to just personal stuff. That's where you're going to see the cat pictures, the kid pictures, the more fun, and most of that you'll see on my Facebook profile too. So I kind of go through Instagram to post on my profile.
Are you working on becoming a crazy cat lady? Are you already there? What's the list there?
Well, on Joel's video on his channel, hashtag TNT Joel, there you go, there's a shout out for his. On his channel, we are going to start integrating a little bit of cat stuff. So that will be kind of, yeah, we have 2 cats, so, and they are quite entertaining. So we're going to figure out a way to integrate a little bit into it. And, you know, but no, I'm not a cat lady. But, hey, we're trying to get Ellen's attention here. So she loves cats.
She loves cats. Cats, toys, and Ellen, man. You cannot go wrong. If you're going to have a YouTube channel, those 3 things I think are ideal.
Exactly. So I think it all depends on if this is business or personal. As for Pinterest, I love the one thing about that, it's amazing traffic. Amazing traffic. You know, we post all of these to Pinterest, all these videos and all the shows from the blog to Pinterest. And that drives a ton of traffic back to the website and back to the YouTube videos. It's amazing. And it lasts. You know, I did infographics for a lot of clients, and we have orthodontist ones that are out there that are really, really good, and people share it constantly. We posted those about 1.5 years ago. They are still shared daily.
Really?
On Pinterest. So Pinterest has a longevity that Facebook and Twitter do not.
Facebook and Twitter, man, Twitter in particular, if you don't get onto it right now, it's gone. Mm-hmm. It's just like, whoop, vapor. Although every once in a while, I'm sure you have this experience where someone favorites or retweets a tweet that you're like, dude, that's like 2 years ago. How did you even find that?
Well, that's odd. Yeah, that's unusual that would happen. Yeah, they probably somehow ran into you, started going through all your old stuff.
Ain't nobody going through all that. I mean, that's thousands and thousands, right? To get to the tweet that this guy just retweeted, it must have been a weird random search. It popped up. He must have been looking for a couple of things, and it showed up. Because there's no way I can't even imagine a world where somebody went through 3,500 tweets and found that one and said, "Gold! I'm gonna retweet." You get it checked out. You got to tap out.
True. That's true. Yeah. No, you don't. But you know that's the only way they probably are doing that. So they don't have the longevity, and YouTube has a ton of longevity also. So we started this show prior to Business Growth Time 1 year ago, and I was just looking at the stats, and we are still having many views on videos from some of our first shows.
Great.
So longevity, it's now, granted, we just posted the video from YouTube direct to Facebook, not a video that's shared link, but an upload direct to Facebook of my son's channel. He's only had a few views on it on his YouTube channel, but with that direct upload, it had 500 views. Now, that happened fast. Now what's going to happen long term with that? The views are done. I mean, maybe onesie, twosies here, but YouTube, so there's a place for everything, you know what I mean? So it's going backwards to the two. I couldn't do it with, you know, there's a reason for all the different pieces. Now, granted, I believe you need to focus on two, though. You know, you can't be everywhere, but, you know.
Not consistently.
No, you can't consistently, so you focus on a couple. I want to go through and I want to read a couple more.
Okay.
LinkedIn, let's talk about that before. I'll look at this while you explain. I'd like to, who's using LinkedIn for fun? Anyone? Come on.
Who's using LinkedIn for fun? I'll tell you, people that are using LinkedIn for fun are spammers, scammers, slammers, Alabamers. I'm trying to come up with words that rhyme. I'm kind of running out. It's in a bit of a jammer right now. I don't know what to do. Seriously, the people that are using LinkedIn for fun don't really understand that there are other social networks that are out there for fun. That would be my guess.
I think they're still thinking business when they're even using it for fun, you know, so.
For years, I've trained people on LinkedIn, and up until the last 6 or 7 months, I've been able to say, hey, I've never received any BS email or any crap coming through. Can't say that anymore.
No.
I'm getting hit on once in a while, which I wish that happened more often, because it only happens on LinkedIn. It doesn't happen in the real world or on Facebook or anywhere else. But LinkedIn, chick magnet right here. It's probably the hat. I think, and then I'm getting lots of relatives in Africa that left me a lot of money, dude. Lots of relatives all of a sudden, and I didn't. Evidently, part royalty. It's good. So my LinkedIn status has gone up, and my faith in LinkedIn has gone down very low.
It is easy to spam through them, and I've learned the tactics of being able to send, to all of your connections and email, that kind of thing, and it's great if you don't take the wrong people. It gets in the wrong people's hands, and they use it the wrong way. It's too bad that we don't have. It's kind of like Google Plus, where you can check mark the box, email everybody.
Right.
Well, I'm fine with that, but there's, I've had a couple connections where they have done it every single time they post, and I don't even know them just because I'm in their circle. So there's people that take advantage of these things and then ruin it for everybody else. So, and marketers tend to be the guilty ones.
The worst, right? We're the worst offenders of all time. Because our message is important, damn it. Forget all the rest of the stuff. It's funny. I had a Facebook rant today where I pulled out the soapbox, I hopped up on it, tapped the mic, got ready to see if this thing was on, cleared my throat, and let it rip. One of the things that pisses me off on Facebook, and you host some events, so you'll be familiar with this. You invite people to your event, they accept the RSVP, they say they're coming, and they don't show up. But I think psychologically they're thinking, I'm helping you by saying yes, I'll be there, because now it's going to go out to my network. So I'm moving the message forward, right? I'm helping. You can have the same level of impact and help by saying you may be attending, right, and not throwing off my damn count, because I went to an event today that honestly there were 2 other people there. And it was 50 minutes from my house. Had I known it was just going to be the 3 of us, I'd have gotten on the phone and called them. I thought there were going to be 8 people there, which isn't great, but it's almost 3 times as many as 3. That's not cool.
That's what happens with meetups a lot too. I don't know if you're involved with. I'm sure you are some meetups, and meetups a lot of times because they're free. Even putting a $5 value might make a difference, because if somebody has to pay $5, they might go, oh, I'm not going to RSVP, so it's just something to think about because it's free. So, oh yeah, maybe I will. I know a guy, I won't name names at all, but he on every meetup that I see down the row, he's RSVP'd for every single one of them.
Really?
And I'm like, he's not going to all those events. There's no way.
Yeah, just it's like the endorsement on LinkedIn, right? I just want to see my face on your page. So I'm gonna click this button and endorse you for people I don't know, for skills I don't know if they have. I'm gonna endorse them so I can get my face out there more. I
Maybe.
don't do that.
No, no.
There's
So
that's like our third tip of the day.
I know we have had some different tips.
Oh,
That's very, yeah. I agree. I want to go back to our. I want to read what Bernie Ashley said because his is kind of funny.
I like funny.
Now that he goes, now that would be worse than a global recession, Terry. This is going to the subject of the two social
Referring
networks.
to only
Yes.
having two networks, worse
Yes.
than a global. It's all over. I'm done. I'm cashed out.
And remember, just a few years ago, we were saying social media wouldn't stick around. So here,
It's a fact.
and then he put, Google Plus keeps me and my post searchable. He's a mortgage guy.
Ooh,
On the
smart mortgage guy.
The drawback is most of what comes up are the social networks of which I am a member. I have strong networks and interactions on FB and LI, even though my network on LI, LinkedIn, is over double my friends on Facebook. I am still leaning towards Facebook. So that's kind of an interesting one, but I loved his comment, how it would be worse than, and then I am also on WeChat. That's the one you brought up, WeChat. I have no idea what WeChat is.
So based on the people that we're talking about WeChat, I can safely assume that it's more of an international thing. My brother is on WeChat. My brother spends a large chunk of his year living in Shanghai, China. The gentleman who brought up WeChat, Milan Stolonovich, although it doesn't sound like it, he is the ambassador for the Chinese embassy here in the Detroit area, or the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, I'm not sure which. So it's probable that it's some sort of Asian persuasion thing going on there.
Okay. Yeah, and a lot of these things are in other countries are different than here. I mean, even the YouTube video, most of the views come from other countries, not even the U.S. So, I mean, it all depends on where they're located and how much use they get out of each social network. So that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So WeChat, I guess it's something to look at, but I don't know. Snapchat, I just never understood, so still don't.
No. Although WeChat, does that mean you send pictures back and forth that explode simultaneously? Because that would be kind of cool.
I don't know.
No.
You never know. Ellen had one on her show yesterday. I wish I remember the name of it. And she was just promoting this where she was live walking around with her camera and everybody was commenting and she was, they could see her and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a streaming one. So that's
if we mention Ellen one more time, she's going to have to become a sponsor. I'm just saying. Business Grow Time brought to you by the Ellen DeGeneres Show.
Exactly. Well, we're working on it. We're working on something here. Well, I suppose. Well, so what's the lesson that we learned, and let's go back to finishing this up and wrapping it up. We want to talk about what platform. Let me ask you, what platform do you think is going to be the most effective at growing someone's business, since we are Business Growth Time?
I think that answer, unfortunately, depends on what type of business it is, because I think it varies. I think if your business is kind of visual, I think you definitely have to be on Facebook, no ifs, ands, or buts. But I think if you're more in the surface space, I think LinkedIn is the way to go. I'm not really actually counting, but I am running through all of these lists, and I'll tell you what, every single person I've seen thus far had Facebook as one of their answers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, it looks like, came in number 2. I feel like Instagram was number 3. And then, I think Twitter was number 3. And then, but those 3, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter were definitely far enough away. Pinterest only had a couple. I think Pinterest can be a really positive thing if your business is visual and photograph. Instagram, from my understanding, blows up for things that are visual.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I would dump Facebook. I feel like I'm held captive to Facebook at this point. And maybe that's me feeling weak-minded and not able to drop it. So that could be, but I'm almost not going to happen anytime soon, but I feel like I want to get rid of it. And I just almost like there would be time.
Yeah, I would never suggest it to any business just because it's so powerful still.
Yeah.
The Facebook ads are so powerful.
Well, what
Um,
percentage of people are using Facebook ads?
well, the smart businesses are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's highly targeted.
If
We
you use it
get
right, yeah.
tons of business for Learning RX, who I work with, and we do, tons of ads, tons of videos. We do offers. Facebook offers work really well with the local business. I'm actually starting a new program on Facebook offers.
Nice.
And I'm a big believer in Facebook. Huge, huge. It's where everybody is. Your customer is there.
That's for sure.
So if you can find a way to get in front of your customer, your business will grow. So that's kind of my end tip.
Ooh, if you can find a way to get in front of your customer, your business will grow. I'm quoting you on that. Oh, wait, I did. All right. Hey, so do we have like a thing on Facebook at all? Do we have?
Yeah,
Facebook?
we do. Well, let's make sure that we talk about that, and then we are show number 51. So all the notes and links and everything are on show number 51. And at this point, it's socialmediahangout.com/51, but we might be ready for that transition. So it could be businessgrowthtime.com/51. But what we want you to do is make sure that you go to our Facebook group, and that you can find at facebook.com, and then that's a /groups/business growth time. We're gonna change that once we're over in our new website, but it's just search under groups and business growth time. You'll find it, and just ask to be added. We want you to join in the conversation.
We're there, you and I. That's how they'll know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Terry and Janet will be there.
You got it, yeah.
So that's kind of cool, and we do stuff there, and we'll be doing more stuff, right? We'll be having conversations, and one of the goals is to bring some of the additional speakers on. So if you want to carry this conversation forward after you see them on a video, you can attack them there inside the group. I think that's completely permissible, right? Isn't that why they're there?
You got it. That's exactly what our goal is. So, perfect. Well, we got another interview to do, so we are on our way. But thank you for joining us today, and be sure to join our Facebook group. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you soon.